So as a father of 5 kids, I need to make sure that I'm bringing in enough money to make sure our life is comfortable, the 4 walls are put up, we have enough money for housing and for food and for clothing, and for some nice activities that we might do as a family. Every once in a while go out for ice cream, or step up on some of the things that we have, like a new car every once in a while, making sure that everything is safe, everything's reliable, everything's working properly. My oldest is 10, which means that in the future she's going to start needing maybe braces or glasses, or one day a car, or maybe college or weddings. So I need to continually step up the amount of income that I'm bringing in. For my whole life, basically, I've been on commission or project type jobs as an actor or as a salesperson, and that just wasn't cutting it. We went through a season where I had 4 deals fall through in about a 10-day span for different reasons with different companies. I was a freelance wholesaler, and that was a super painful time. So about 4 years ago, I took a job where I get paid every 2 weeks. That job has not increased in income, although inflation has gone up like crazy in these last 4 years, as I'm sure it has everywhere. And the economy is totally different. Everything has changed, and yet my salary has stayed the same, which has been nice to be able to be consistent and plan for that. But I feel like maybe somehow I need to start getting back on a commission-based job in the future. So one of the things that I've been looking at is agency, digital marketing agency, which is where you call up companies, that make about 100, 120 grand a month, and you say, hey, for $5,000 a month, we can increase your digital footprint so that you guys can be seen on different platforms like Instagram and TikTok and Twitter or X, and you guys can have more marketing and more brand awareness and get more people in the door. Then you take that $5,000 or $7,000 or $3,000 or whatever they give to you, and you hire people to put that together who maybe work for $400 to $500. So you're basically doing the arbitrage or the agency part, where you take money from one side and you hire workers on the other side, and then you're managing those workers. This seemed appealing to me because, for one, it's just me doing direct sales to businesses, which I'm not afraid to pick up the phone and call, even if it takes me several months to get a deal. If I can bring in, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, then that would almost replace our income just with one deal. The second thing that I liked about it was I don't have to do the creative work myself, whereas I looked at drop shipping, I'd have to create a lot of videos, which I don't think I would be particularly good at. The other thing I'm looking at too is just looking for another job in Tennessee, which is just could be anything as long as it pays. I think I'd be looking at hopefully around $100,000, $100,500 a year to be super comfortable. That is more than I'm making now, and so it would be a step up. However, we do need to find a place to live and maybe put a down payment, or just get a USDA loan where there's no down payment at all. That might be a possibility for us as well. Although with interest rates at 8%, I don't know what they would qualify me for. Another idea we had is for just me to reactivate my real estate license, which I just let it go inactive, and then I could maybe help sell the place we're living in now, help sell my in-laws' place if they move to Tennessee, and then help sell the duplex that we own, and then that would bring in about 3% on each of those transactions. So that would be about $12,000 to $15,000 per property, which would set us up for 3/4 of a year. For me to really find something, or just continue to do what I'm doing with work. I'm also considering going to my current boss, which I probably will anyway, at some point at the early part of the year, and just asking if he has any opportunities in Tennessee for me. Maybe if I could continue my work remotely, or possibly talk to him about expanding his company, because he has I think 650 rental properties into Tennessee. I have a hard time going up to people and offering them pennies on the dollar for their home. I just ethically, it kind of tears me up inside, or offering them a subject to property. But it's funny because when I'm doing it for somebody else, I don't really have that hard time anymore. I sort of just take the idea that I'm an employee, I'm doing what my boss told me to do, go to the house, knock on the door. But when I do it for myself, I have a hard time. I'm just like, I know a person who will buy this for $20,000 more than I will. I might as well just hook you guys up and not take the money. I feel bad. I feel like you guys could use the money more than me. It really tears me up. And the subject to stuff too, like having them on the hook for another 20, 25 years to a loan, it rips me up, it shreds me up, and I have a really hard time closing those deals. But when I'm doing it for somebody else, I have less of a hard time. So if I could get some sort of a base, maybe a commission split when the property is sold or rented out, working for somebody else, then that would be more comfortable. I do like the idea of always having some kind of a base pay, especially with 5 kids and a wife and me being the only one working. The reason is because one is it makes me a better salesman, knowing that I already have a paycheck coming and I don't need to close that deal to make sure that I get paid. And 2, it's just more responsible for my family, that we can make plans based on that little bit of base pay, and then hopefully have the commission checks come in that we could maybe step up the car or step up the lifestyle a little bit, or just kind of put some money away. I know sometimes we get checks and we'd buy a whole cow or something like that, so at least meat was taken care of for a year. So those are all the things we're contemplating, leaning highly towards a digital marketing agency, going to look heavily into that soon, and maybe even start making those calls to see if I can't get a deal or two and kind of get lucky to start. I'm probably going to try to sell the concept to a couple businesses before I actually have the components in place to test the concept. Also talk to my current boss, and then the third thing I'm going to do is maybe start looking around in different areas of Tennessee for somebody who might be hiring. So thank you for sticking this far in the video for me. I know that if God wants us to be in Tennessee on His timing, we will be there, and so I'm just hopeful and looking forward to it. I of course want to move there in comfort with some money in the bank and prospects lined up, but I know that I'll be taken care of from my Father in heaven no matter what happens, and I'm super excited for my family and for you guys to come along on this journey with me. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.